It started with a whisper. A grainy, low-resolution clip uploaded at 2:13 a.m. on a virtually unknown European streaming site. No marketing, no fanfare, no context. Just a haunting title. The Girls of the Med. What They Don't Want You to Know. The video was 38 minutes long. The sound quality was poor. The narration robotic. But the footage? The footage was something else. Before we continue, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for updates. Within hours, the link was everywhere. Reddit threads exploded. Telegram groups went into overdrive. Twitter, X, lit up with one recurring question. Did anyone else just see Meghan Markle in that yachting documentary? Wait, Meghan? That Meghan? Duchess of Sussex? Wife to Prince Harry? Mother to 2 royal children? Hollywood celebrity? And global humanitarian? Exactly. That Meghan. And just like that, the floodgates burst open. Because the woman in the film, her silhouette, her voice, her smile, her walk, wasn't just familiar. It was unmistakable. The internet didn't just speculate, it dissected. Frame by frame, word by word. Every twitch, every flick of her hair, every blurred facial angle was scrutinized, analyzed, and compared to known images of Meghan Markle from the early 2010s. And the verdict was chilling. This wasn't coincidence. This wasn't conspiracy. This was a revelation. But before we dive deeper, before we walk you through the damning evidence, the testimonies, the background deals, and the unmistakable $100 per hour service breakdown tied to her alleged name, let's ask the question that truly matters. Why now? Why, years after she married into one of the most powerful families on earth, after interviews with Oprah, Netflix specials, charity galas, and archetype-defining podcasts? Why is Meghan Markle suddenly the centerpiece of a quietly released exposé about the yachting industry's dirty underbelly? And more importantly, why is she silent? No tweets, no statements, no legal threats, not even a PR-friendly denial. Sources close to the palace say she's shaken. Others say she's furious. But one insider said she was pale, trembling, and hysterical after seeing the documentary's viral spread. Another? They claimed Meghan collapsed in tears when a friend forwarded her a screenshot of her alleged scene, captioned with nothing more than, $100 per hour? Really? Now, to understand the storm about to break across every corner of the globe, we have to rewind. Not to her days on Suits, not to her royal wedding, but far earlier, to a version of Meghan that's been wiped clean, buried under glitz, titles, and a carefully curated image. Back to the days before Kensington, before Montecito, before Archwell. Back to Monaco, to Croatia, to Dubai, to yachts with names like the Seraphim and the Silver Orchid. Back to exclusive white parties where phones were banned, contracts were signed, and names were never spoken out loud. Because if what this documentary claims is true, Meghan Markle wasn't just a guest. She was on the payroll. Let's get something out of the way early. Yachting isn't about boats. Not really. It's about power, discretion, control. It's about the men who own the ocean. And the women invited onto their floating palaces. And in the world of ultra-luxury yachting, there's a hidden economy no one speaks of out loud. A place where smiles are sold, names are changed, and services are complicated. Think of it this way. In a world where billionaires rent islands for birthday parties and import endangered flowers just to match a tablecloth, do you really believe the companions they surround themselves with are there by accident? This is where the documentary lands its first blow. It doesn't just name names. It plays audio. Grainy, yes. Digitally scrambled, absolutely. But distinct enough for the internet to rise up like a digital army. And when one voice, Midwestern accent, soft laugh, poised diction, slipped through the filter and said, "I only charge 100, that's more than enough," the world paused. Because Meghan's old interviews, the ones from red carpets, talk shows, backstage vlogs, they matched. Inflection, pace, syntax. The voice was hers. And that, right there, was the spark. $100. That's all it took to shatter the illusion. A single sentence. A single price tag. A single line that echoed across TikTok, podcasts, forums, and tabloids. $100 an hour? That's what the Duchess was worth. But that number, it wasn't pulled from the sky. It wasn't random. It was tied to a real listing. Yes, you heard right. The documentary flashes, briefly, to a screenshot of a yacht manifest. A booking list of sorts. Names blacked out, countries listed, rates displayed. And there, in the middle column, a line item marked RM, $100 per hour, conversation and companionship. Now here's where it gets terrifyingly specific. RM. Rachel Meghan. Meghan's full first and middle name. Coincidence? Maybe. But couple that with a guest list from that very yacht dated July 2015, and one of the anonymous guests is listed as having starred in a cable legal drama filmed in Toronto. That narrows the pool to exactly one person. So the question is, how deep does this go? Was Meghan just present at events? Was she knowingly participating in these arrangements? Was this something she was pulled into? Or was it a stepping stone? And more importantly, did Prince Harry ever know? Multiple anonymous insiders, from royal aides to ex-staffers, have hinted for years that Meghan's past was scrubbed with urgency before her engagement was made public. Background checks were accelerated. Photos vanished. Online mentions deleted. But one photo, according to the documentary, survived. A photo taken in Croatia, on a dock, with a woman in a long white dress, sunglasses, and a red headscarf, smiling next to a known yacht recruiter who has since been banned from multiple Mediterranean ports for violating anti-trafficking policies. The woman in the image? Her back is turned, but the tattoo on her shoulder blade? It matches Meghan's from an old Suits blooper reel. The internet didn't miss that either. Now here's the kicker. This documentary, obscure, unlisted, half-shadowed, claims that it was only the beginning. It's part 1 of 3. And the next installment? It's said to contain high-resolution images, unreleased footage from onboard cameras, and at least one clip of Meghan allegedly discussing arrangements with another woman, believed to be a Canadian stylist. And we haven't even touched on the money trail yet. According to one producer who helped digitize the film, there are bank records. Small, precise payments from shell companies tied to events hosted by Middle Eastern billionaires. Wire transfers with metadata connecting Meghan to multiple bookings, disguised under consulting fees, all dating back to just months before she met Prince Harry. And that's the detail that's got people shaking. Because if true, this means the woman who stood before Queen Elizabeth, swore vows in a cathedral, and told Oprah she was just a girl in love, may have carefully manufactured everything. Everything. And here's the most devastating part. She might not be the only one. Already, whispers are swirling about other women, actresses, influencers, models, who transitioned into high society through these same exact routes. Meghan's story might just be the first to be exposed. But it's not the footage, the screenshots, or even the rates that have everyone reeling. It's the silence. The deafening silence from Meghan Markle's team. No lawsuits. No cease and desist. No interviews with Gayle King. Just nothing. And according to royal observers, that says more than any denial ever could. So what's really going on here? Is this all a twisted coincidence, the product of overzealous sleuths with too much time on their hands? Or have we just cracked open the first layer of a secret so tightly guarded, it could shake the foundations of the modern royal myth? You think you've heard it all? Not even close. Because what comes next involves Jessica Mulroney, a deleted video, and a single red dress Meghan wore in Monaco that was supposed to have been destroyed years ago. But it wasn't, and someone just uploaded it. Have you ever watched a video you weren't supposed to see? Not just a leaked clip or a backstage blooper, but something so raw, so unfiltered, that you feel the danger in your chest as it plays? That's how this documentary begins. No studio logo, no credits, no narration at first, just a series of shaky, handheld shots. Yachts, champagne, laughter, faces that are blurred but not enough. Women in expensive swimsuits and men in loafers without socks. Everyone pretending the cameras aren't there, but everyone very aware they are. And then, the voice cuts in. Robotic, distorted, emotionless. These are the girls they paid to forget. It's a haunting line. Not flashy, not dramatic, just cold, like a scalpel. And that's when you realize you're watching something no one expected to get out. Within the first 5 minutes, the documentary doesn't just suggest wrongdoing. It names it, not with titles or celebrity callouts, but with timestamps, emails, coded client logs, and audio from handheld microphones. And then, there it is. Minute 6. A blurred figure, walking toward the stern of a superyacht. The camera pans, almost lazily. No zoom, no focus. But the walk, the poise, the outfit. Viewers immediately began comparing it to Meghan's red carpet footage from Suits Season 3 promotion. The resemblance is uncanny. The posture, the way she turns her head slightly to the right before laughing, the exact curve of the lips as she speaks. The internet was not having it. They didn't just analyze it. They dissected it. Freeze frames were pulled. Side-by-side comparisons created. AI-enhanced voice samples were fed into audio verification tools. And what came out was a 92% match to known Meghan Markle video interviews from 2014 to 2015. But what triggered the storm wasn't her appearance. It was the sentence. Faint. Almost drowned out by music and engine noise. But when filtered and isolated by users on Reddit and 4chan's audio boards, it became unmistakably clear. I only charge 100. That's more than enough. I'm not like the others. 100. That number, once mentioned in passing, became the epicenter of everything. Who said it? Was it her? If not, why did the voice match so closely? Why did the body language scream Meghan? And more terrifyingly, why did her team go completely silent the moment this clip went viral? You'd expect legal threats. A statement from her lawyer. A "this is fake" post on Instagram. Maybe even a friendly chat with People magazine. But there was nothing. Not a whisper. Not a tweet. Not even a denial planted in a friendly tabloid. Just silence. And that silence? It spoke louder than any statement ever could. Because behind the scenes, insiders say panic had already set in. According to a whistleblower close to a European PR crisis firm hired by Archwell's legal team, Meghan was blindsided. She wasn't briefed. She didn't know the documentary even existed until screenshots started trending. She reportedly screamed when she saw the clip. Screamed. One aide said she locked herself in a room for 3 hours and refused to speak to Harry. Another claims her mother, Doria Ragland, had to be called in to calm her down. Why? Was it the footage? The voice? Or something more? Because what made this documentary truly terrifying wasn't what it showed, but what it hinted at. In minute 13, a series of still images flash by. Black and white. Timestamped. Cropped. Obscured. But only partially. One of them shows a woman seated on the edge of a yacht hot tub. Sunglasses on. Red lipstick. Her head turned downward, reading something on her phone. She's wearing a silky red dress with a distinctive slit down the back. And a gold anklet. The kind you don't forget. Why is that significant? Because Meghan wore that exact dress to a Monaco fashion fundraiser in 2015. Publicly, it was said to be loaned by a designer and later returned. But fashion archivists and fans claim the piece was never re-released. In fact, it vanished from all media right after that event. No official photos. No brand acknowledgement. No stylist credits. And in this documentary, that same dress, creased, damp, slightly off color, is seen again. On a yacht. Here's the kicker. Meghan's red dress was widely believed to have been destroyed after an accidental wine spill. A claim made by her stylist in a now-deleted tweet in 2017. So how is it that this dress, not a replica, not similar, the dress, is in this documentary? Coincidence? Unlikely. Especially when the man seated next to the woman in the hot tub, blurry though he is, was later identified as a known billionaire associated with hosting entertainment parties aboard his yacht, the Azure Serpent. The very same yacht flagged for tax fraud and illegal human trafficking links just 2 years ago. Still think this is a harmless mistake? Because it gets worse. The documentary shifts halfway through. It goes from slow, haunting visuals to a behind-the-scenes tone. Hidden cameras. Blurry footage from what looks like inside cabins. Overhead shots from port security. Audio logs of boat manifests. And then, in minute 28, it drops the bomb. A list. A spreadsheet. Names partially redacted. Column headers include alias, fee, duration, services, refer. One line. Alias, R. Meghan. Fee, $100 per hour. Duration, 6 hours. Services. Companionship plus event escort. Refer, JM. Audience. You know who JM is, right? Jessica Mulroney. Meghan's best friend. Her closest ally. Her supposed ride or die. The woman she once called the sister I never had. You might remember Jessica from the wedding. From being one of the few outsiders welcomed into the royal fold. From disappearing suddenly after a controversy on Instagram, and then staying silent for years. Now she's back, not in person, but in initials. And the connection? It's right there, on a file recovered from an encrypted hard drive found in a seized yacht server off the coast of Italy. This wasn't just gossip anymore. This was digital evidence. A paper trail. And Meghan? Allegedly, right in the center of it. Let's ask the uncomfortable question. Why would someone as image-conscious, as PR-savvy, as meticulous as Meghan Markle ever allow herself to be connected to something so risky? Some say desperation. Others say ambition. Some believe she didn't know what she was walking into. Others claim she knew exactly what she was doing, and that every step of her journey was pre-planned. What do you think? Because the more you examine this documentary, the more you realize it's not a hit job. It's not a tabloid piece. It doesn't even push conclusions. It just presents the puzzle pieces and lets you connect them. But the one piece everyone missed at first was the 30-second deleted scene uploaded hours after the original cut aired. It was quickly scrubbed from most platforms, but not before a few eagle-eyed viewers downloaded it. The clip shows a woman, back turned, talking to someone off camera. The voice is soft, confident. I know who's here tonight, but I'm not impressed. He's not a real prince. I've met better in Dubai. Then, a pause. And laughter. Deep, chilling laughter. The camera turns briefly, and in the reflection of a mirror behind the speaker, a flash of a face, half covered in shadow, matches a known selfie Meghan posted to Instagram years ago. Same updo. Same earrings.